Alright guys, we're here in the airport and we are doing our little stretching routine in between flights. So right now we're starting off with a modified couch stretch. I'm starting with my back foot on a chair there, right? So I'm going to start by pushing my hips back to my heel, so my butt to my heel. I'm going to posterior tilt my pelvis, so I'm rotating my hips underneath me. Right, think about if you were a dog, you're tucking your tail. And then from there, I'm just going to gently start to rise up to this top position. Right, keeping my core nice and tight. And if I want to add a little bit of extra stretch to this, I'm going to put my hand up over my head and arch away to the other side. Right, so I'm trying to make that my long side. Right, so my right arm is going up overhead, making my long side. You can add a little twist into there, kind of play around with those end ranges. Go ahead and move on to the other side. So now on the other side, all those same things apply, right? Put my foot up on the bench, pushing my hips or my butt back to my heel, rotating my pelvis underneath me, posterior pelvically tilting, and I'm trying to get up nice and tall, right? And once again, if I need to make this more of a stretch, I can put my arm up overhead. So whatever knee is down, that same arm is going up overhead. Think about being very tall, elbow to the sky. And I'm going to make that my long side. So I'm getting a big stretch. And if I didn't say it already, which I didn't, I'm also using a breath belt. So that is helping me get deeper into these stretches, right? So now we're moving on to our hip hinges, right? Just standing up nice and tall, hip hinging back, pushing my hips straight back to the wall behind me, and I'm reaching down to touch my toes. Moving on just to some side openers, whatever you want to call them, right? Lateral line openers. And moving on now to our lateral lunges, right? Slow and controlled, thinking about pulling myself into the ground, gripping the ground with my toes, breathing deep into that breath belt, right? Putting a lot of force into that breath belt. Go ahead now, moving on to our lateral lunges with our toes up on the opposite side. Right, sitting deep into that stretch. Moving on to a little hip flexor opener, right? So lateral lunge, and then that front knee is going to go down. My opposite hand is going to plant behind me. All right, so front knee down, back hand behind me, and I'm going to reach up to the sky and push my hips forward to the wall in front of me. All right, so lateral lunge, knee to the ground, back hand down, hips forward, hand to the sky. And just some good mornings, some wide-legged good mornings. Right, so similar to the hip hinge, but now I'm hinging more from the upper body rather than, I guess, basically the whole body before. And now just getting that flow on, moving the spine, getting some spinal waves in there. Movement is key. Alright, now I'm going to be playing around with some different squat variations, internally rotating my hips and my knees. Right, some might think that this is not good for you, but it's only not good if you can't do it. Once again, just working different squat variations. Now we're going into our squat rotations, so grabbing the opposite side, the bottom of the squat, rotating up, trying to reach my hand up to the sky. Taking that breath belt off, gonna feel nice and loose, big, open, going into a little world's greatest stretch. So I'm going to be doing a lunge forward, right, hand down to the ground, opening up towards that leg, and then we're going to try to get that same elbow down to the ground. Boom, up and back to that starting position. Step out, hand down, open up to the sky, elbow down to the ground, back up to the sky, and then back to that starting position.